Good morning, Mouse Hunt Community, as we say, for the first Feedback Friday of 2016. I don't think I've said 2015 once this year so far, so that's off to a good start. Welcome, January 8th, 2016, Feedback Friday. How's everybody in the chat doing? How's everyone's year going so far? A week into a new year of hunting mice ahead. Work to do around the kingdom, cleaning up all the breeds of mice out of the kingdom. Good morning, hey. Hello in the chat. Happy New Year to you as well. Steve in the chat. It's the 9th for Raphael. Happy January the 9th to you. Someone's on holiday, sounds good, doing great. Happy New Year to you as well, Ricardo, everyone in the chat. That's doing well, great to hear. Well, today, for the first Feedback Friday of the year, we have a few little things to go over. We're going to do some news and announcements about the event coming to an end and a couple other things behind the scenes, which is what we call a little segment where we'll give you a little sneak peek at what we're working on, let you know what to expect over the next month or so. And some feedback questions for hunters in the chat. They have to do about the Great Winter Hunt, so get... if you have any comments, suggestions, feedback on the Great Winter Hunt, we have a couple questions to ask, and we'll welcome all the feedback of everything to do with the event when we get there. And as we always wrap things up with a trivia question, and Larry the Friendly Knight will have rewards if anyone in the chat gets the correct answer to the trivia question. And I don't think we've yet to stump anyone so far, and I don't think we plan to ever do so. So stay tuned for free stuff at the end of the stream, more or less with a fun trivia question. In the chat, somebody wants more Super Brie. Well, if you have the Festive Aura, you can find Super Brie as a drop all the way up until January 31st. That is when the Aura goes to, which leads us into the first piece of news or announcement, and that's that the Great Winter Hunt is coming to an end on Tuesday, January the 12th at approximately 4 p.m. UTC, which is 11 a.m. here in Toronto. But in UTC, that's about 4 p.m. Now, that's approximate. We know a lot of hunters ask for a sort of rough time that we expect the event to close at, and so it's something we haven't done too often. So just to give everybody a heads up that we're planning to close it at 4 p.m. UTC, but that is approximate. It might be a little earlier, it might be a little later, but that is the plan. With that in mind, the Toboggan Technician is out in full force. So if you noticed in the news ticker at the top of the game, or perhaps on the Facebook fan page, we did a post as well that the Toboggan Technician mouse is now a little more abundant. You'll find that mouse in places that you wouldn't have before, such as the Green Circle course, as well as when you're not on a course at all. It's attracted to Arctic Asiago cheese. So now if you're using Arctic Asiago cheese, is a bit of a tongue twister, anywhere in the event, you'll be able to attract the Toboggan Technician now. And the Toboggan Technician mouse drops 5 times more planks and 3 times more wax, steel, and twine. So you used to just drop 1 item every time you caught it, but now it will drop 5 planks or 3 steel or 3 wax or 3 twine. So that should kind of help. I know a few hunters were a little busy over the holidays, maybe having a hard time finishing up with the last upgrade or two. So that's a little bit of a boost to kind of help out. That said, if you already built all your upgrades, you can combine all those extra parts into more nitro, and then you can either use that nitro to speed down the hill to more rewards at the bottom of each slope. So if you're an avid labyrinth hunter, you could use that extra nitro to get through Hollow Heights a couple more times to get some more various labyrinth and Zocor related loot, or whatever other toboggan course you may happen to be interested in. Or if you're completely done with the Toboggan Challenge, you can convert all those extra parts into nitro and then head to the store at the Toboggan Challenge and exchange all that nitro for throwable snowballs, which you can then use in the Snowball Showdown. And you can earn a little bit of Super Brie every time you clear the board, and that's always something handy to have. So that's another use for it as well if you're completely done with tobogganing. With that in mind, when the Great Winter Hunt ends, the vacant lot will remain behind. That's the location that we use when an event comes to an end. It usually is there for a week or two. The vacant lot will be there for 1 week after the event ends. You'll be able to exchange Advent chocolates, any remaining toboggan parts as well. The HUD will still be active. You just won't be able to start a new toboggan course, but you can exchange your extra toboggan parts after the event ends into Nitro. And then at the store, you can exchange all your extra Nitro, all your leftover Nitro for the event into throwable snowballs, because you'll still be able to play the Snowball Showdown for 1 week after the event ends. And so you can use up all your snowballs at the end of the event and get all that Super Brie out of the Snowball Throwdown, the Snowball Showdown game. You can play that, use up all your parts into Nitro, into snowballs, and then finally into Super Brie by playing the Snowball Showdown. So that's a lot. Any questions from the chat? I think that's straightforward, but that's the plan coming. Hopefully that all makes sense. A question in the chat was, I guess Nitro won't be of any use then. We certainly don't have any plans, at least in the short term, to have Nitro have any use. If it did in the future, there would be a way to get it again. But it's up to you. If you want to hold on to it for sentimental reasons, you certainly could do that. But I recommend converting it into throwable snowballs and using it on the Snowball Showdown to turn it into Super Brie, which you can use that year-round. That's always helpful. Who couldn't use a few extra pieces of Super Brie? Can I repeat that, Dave? Was a question in the chat. I don't know. That was a mouthful. I am going to post a summary of Feedback Friday in the Tavern section of the forum, and everything that I just read aloud will be posted there. So if there's any details you missed, check the forums in probably a couple hours from now after I've done the stream. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get the post up, but I will post a summary. Rainbow maps, more info about them. Another question from the chat. We'll get to that ever so shortly because they are coming soon. And it's sooner than dev soon. It is tangible soon. So one final piece of news and announcement. This is the first Feedback Friday of the year. However, the next 2 Fridays will be an art edition of Feedback Friday because I'm going to be away for 2 weeks. I'm going to travel to Singapore to meet some hunters at a local mouse hunt meet on Saturday the 16th in Singapore. So if you're in the area, maybe I'll see you next week. There might be a few people in the chat that are planning on going, so I'll see you then on Saturday the 16th. And then I'll be away as well. I figured while I'm going that far, I haven't taken any vacation time here for a while, so I thought I would also take the opportunity to take a week of vacation and see a few sights and maybe relax on a beach somewhere for a little bit because it's getting awfully cold here in Canada. So I'll be away for 2 weeks. There'll be art editions of Feedback Friday, but then I shall return 3 Fridays from now for another Feedback Friday, I am sure. Thank you for the well wishes in the chat there on a safe trip and a great trip. It's a ways to go. I might be a little bit tired, I think, when I get there, but hopefully it will be a fun experience, and I'm looking forward to meeting some mouse hunters from an area of the world where the game is extremely popular and get everyone's sort of impressions, feedback, and pick everyone's brain about the game. So with that news and announcement out of the way, we get to behind the scenes, which we're going to go over kind of what we're working on right now, what mouse hunters can expect to make its way into the game in the reasonable short term as well. And there are a few little topics here. As somebody asked in the chat earlier about rainbow treasure maps, well, those are coming soon. That will be the next thing added to the game here in January, and it will be with the King's Giveaway and rainbow treasure maps. They're coming at the same time. So as mentioned in previous Feedback Fridays, we've done some updates to prize mice. Those are now live in the game. That we previewed them before, I think last year. And prize mice no longer consume cheese, and they can be encountered on a bonus hunt after your hunt takes place in almost any location. So I have a little screenshot of what that looks like if you haven't encountered a prize mouse. I'm having trouble speaking today for some reason. those prize packs. So the giveaway with Rainbow Treasure Maps will be launching next week. I believe as soon as Monday, if all goes according to plan. But again, sometimes I don't like to say when it's going to be, just in case something happens. But if all goes according to plan, it should happen Monday, which is actually my last day here in the office, so I wanted to try and get it out the door before I leave. What else is coming with the giveaway here? We have the King's Arms and the King's Cart will be stocked with new items to purchase using your King's credits, as well as a new item, or a especially new item, called the King's Calibrator. And I think I just realized, well, I put that screenshot up, the music was playing, wasn't it? I don't think I noticed in the chat there. I think it probably was. Let me see here. Spend a lot of extra. Yes, it appears so. My bad. All right, well, I did a little explanation of how prize mice work with that screenshot. Maybe I can go over that again a little bit. Where did that go? Prize catch. Cool. So in case you haven't encountered a prize mouse, they're as bonus hunts. So 1 piece of cheese, you get 2 mice, doesn't use cheese or charms, doesn't interfere with any progress. And this is currently live in the game, except the journal is green instead of purple. So in case you haven't seen it yet, that's what it looks like. And prize mice will obviously be a little more abundant during the giveaway, actually much more abundant, especially the treasures, the snooties, the high rollers are still a little rare. And of course the mobsters and especially leprechauns are the most rarest of rare in the game. And there's only so many of them every giveaway. Yes, visitor, hello, you've brought crisps. He doesn't know they're not. How are the crisps? Breakfast of Champions? Is your New Year's resolution to eat chips for breakfast? Because mine is. Look at the detail of spices. All right, thanks for the chip delivery. There's the first Giorgio sighting of 2016. His hair is getting long. We're just going to lose him in a sea of facial hair soon. It's a very interesting flavored chip of cheddar and bacon. It's a nice 11:20 a.m. snack. I'm a little hungry actually, so maybe that hit the spot. So where were we here? We got the giveaway. And the King's Calibrator, that's what was coming up next. All right, let's load up the old calibrator. So with the coming giveaway next week, there'll be a new item for sale in the King's Arms, and actually it costs gold. This doesn't cost credits because you use your credits to buy upgrades for it. So you'll be able to purchase the King's Calibrator and then use credits to upgrade it to improve your daily loyalty chest rewards. You'll be able to choose different types of cheese to receive in your chests, as well as an increase in gold in the chests. On top of that, you'll also be able to increase your gifting limits as well, so you'll be able to send more gifts each day with the King's Calibrator if you purchase that upgrade. This will be in your inventory. A little screenshot of it living in your inventory, the King's Calibrator. I think it's under the Equipment tab. I think we've moved it around a little bit since I took this screenshot. What else do we got going here? Oop, not that. All right. So finally, the giveaway will also add a new epic type of treasure map called a Rainbow Treasure Map. So during the giveaway, each hunter will be able to find one Rainbow Treasure Map scroll case during the giveaway. The rainbow maps scale in length depending on your hunter's title, and they can hold anywhere from 60 to 120 mice to track down. So these are special scrolls, everybody gets one, and they have a whole ton of mice on them. And what would be a treasure hunt without rewards? They lead to a Rainbow Treasure Map chest, which will have unique items in there. Which actually, this has been ready for so long, off the top of my head, I can't recall what exactly is in them. So I'm not even going to say. It's going to remain a mystery because I don't want to give any misinformation. I have an idea, but I can't recall with 100% certainty. But there will be some goodies inside of there. As a little bit of a note with the rainbow treasure maps, and we've put a few little hints in the game as well when it comes to rainbow treasure maps, but I'll reiterate here, and you can share the strategy with other hunters, but it is somewhat important because everybody just gets one rainbow treasure map scroll case that you want to coordinate with your other map mates before opening yours to make sure you can maximize the number of maps you can contribute to. Because if you open it up and then somebody that you want to really work on a map with opens theirs up, you can't both be working on each other's map. So you'll want to just, when you get your scroll case, don't open it right away. Look around for an invite. Coordinate with maybe if you're close with some other hunters that you do your maps together and decide, well, whose map should we do first? And that'll be able to maximize how many maps you'll be able to work on. Will they only be available during the giveaway? Right now, yes. This will be the launch of the rainbow scroll cases. Can they be upgraded? Yes, you can dust the maps and you will be able to upgrade them to find double the points gold, double the ancient charms, and also increase the other items in the chest as well. One for a lifetime or one at a time? It was a question from the chat. You'll be able to get one of these during the giveaway, and that will be the only one you'll be able to get for now. You won't be able to get another scroll case when you have the one. That said, we may do other events. There'll be something kind of special that every once in a while they come around and you're able to get your hands on one rainbow treasure map scroll case. So again, it's not, as from the chat there, it's not a max inventory quantity of one. It's that during the giveaway you can have one and only one rainbow treasure map scroll case. That said, if friends invite you to theirs, you'll be able to work on multiple rainbow treasure maps. Will it be possible to get Relic Hunter theme scraps? Was a question from the chat there. Off the top of my head, actually, I don't know. Like I said, we put this together, I think it was November when we pulled this all together, and it's been sort of ready to release for a while. I can't quite remember that detail. It might be in my news post, but actually I'll write that down, and hopefully I can include that in the news post for this, if I can find my notes here. As theme scraps and the LE trap. Will the maps be around after the event? They won't be removed from your inventory. However, the only way to get a scroll case is during the giveaway. And actually in the screenshot before you saw the King's Prize Key, and that's a little bit of a hint in that you'll be opening up prize packs, and one of those prize packs will contain a scroll case. And so during the giveaway, everybody will be able to open up prize packs as they find keys, and one of them has a scroll case. So during the giveaway, everyone will have the opportunity to find one scroll case. And I'm just reading a few other questions in the chat here. Somebody was just asking, what's the King's Giveaway all about? So a King's Giveaway, there are prize mice in the game. There are 5, if I'm counting correctly. There's the Treasurer, the Snooty, the High Roller, the Mobster, and the Leprechaun. And during a giveaway, there's an increased quantity of prize mice. So normally they're fairly rare. It's 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000. It's very low odds of encountering a prize mouse. But during the giveaway, it goes up substantially. There's a lot more prize mice running around the kingdom, and many of them drop King's Credits, which you can spend at the King's Arms or the King's Cart for useful loot items in the game. And the Mobster is special in that it drops quite a bit of super brie when you capture the Mobster, and the Leprechaun is extremely special because it drops a pot of gold, or a satchel of gold will be a new item that the Leprechaun drops, and there is a ton of gold in them and other little goodies of charms. You can find super brie, and there's even a chance to win cash, $25 or $50, I believe, are the denominations this giveaway. I think I am missing a High Roller and a Leprechaun. So I'm going to be on the lookout. I'm probably not going to have any luck with a Leprechaun, but I'm hoping I can get a High Roller this giveaway. My luck has not been with me these past few giveaways. So what is next up as well as we continue kind of behind the scenes here is Lunar New Year event. With the Great Winter Hunt coming to a close, we've turned our focus to the Lunar New Year event. That's kind of next up in what we call event season, which starts with the Halloween event and ends with the Great Spring Egg Hunt in April. This year, Calamity Carl's Cruise will make a return to celebrate the new year, the Year of the Monkey, with a new jade base as well. So you'll, as in years past, you'll be able to propel the cruise forward with the explosive power of firecracker charms. There'll be a few new items here and there for cruise bucks as well, and we'll have a little bit of a feedback question about cruise bucks a little bit later as well. And so you'll be able to expect, something very similar to years past as well. It might be a little bit short and sweet, kind of something familiar, easy to accomplish. And we're also, which brings us to what we're working on next. That's going to free up some time. We're working on the Feroma Rift as the next big permanent area added to the game. And so us kind of bringing back Carl's Cruise frees up more time as well to work on the Feroma Rift and other content as well. So like I said, we're working on the next chapter in the Rift storyline. It's quite early as well. It's not something you're going to see probably until after event season, towards the end of spring, I'd say. We've just kind of started design work on some different potential ways that Rift location could work. We're kind of fleshing things out a little bit. We want to see, which one we like the best, kind of play very kind of little prototypes. Usually we try to get a sense for which one's going to be fun and which one's not, and then make the decision on which one to actually build and start drawing all the mice and stuff. So that's the next thing, the next big thing in the pipeline for us that we're going to kind of be working on for quite a while event season is going. We're also going to be working on the Feroma Rift to hopefully launch that when event season comes to a close in April. So that's our goal, that's our plan. And I know I said it, but please don't hold me to that because it's a long ways away. Who knows what could come up, but that's our plan, that's our goal, that's what we're striving for. There's a question in the chat about toxic spills. That could be a topic of another Feedback Friday as well. We're at a little bit of a crossroads. We're not quite sure what we want to do with the toxic spill. We tried reworking it a little bit, and there's a mixed bag of feedback still. So, it's an area where we're trying to maybe smooth it out a little bit and try and decide what we want to do to make it the most fun it can be. That concludes what we have, what we're working on here, which brings us to the feedback questions. So back to the Great Winter Hunt, back to the festivities. I have a couple feedback questions and welcome other sort of suggestions, comments, and feedback from hunters in the chat. Or if you're watching this recorded, there is a summary, or there will be. I'm going to post it. I don't know if you're watching this, it's probably already up, unless you're watching it really recently, in the tavern, where you'll be able to leave some feedback as well in that forum thread. So first feedback question, generic enough, what did you like and what did you dislike about the Great Winter Hunt? Someone in the chat there loved the loot. I think that was definitely a popular aspect of it. The ice coins, it's still available. You can exchange your ice coin for Advent chocolates, and then you can exchange Advent chocolates for ultimate festive luck charms, which are incredibly powerful. So if you do have leftover ice coins from years past, make sure you visit the shop and exchange them all in for Advent chocolates and kind of cash them all out. I don't think ice coins will be coming back. Comment about the trap effectiveness meter didn't work for the courses. Yeah, that was a problem. That trap effectiveness meter, it's interesting. The original sort of way it was laid out was it just always shows all mice in the location regardless of bait. And I think as the Warpath came out, which was I think 5 years ago now, that was quite a long time ago, there was an interesting side effect where it was actually a bug. It started showing, based on what cheese you had armed, what mice you attract. And so it was never really the original intention of the trap effectiveness meter. However, that's very useful. So it's actually a bug that turned into a feature. And to be quite candid with you, we need to completely recode the trap effectiveness meter. It is obviously, because the feature is working because of a bug that in the game, we obviously need to redo it so that it works correctly and as anticipated. So as we do different types of gameplay in different areas and events in the game, the trap effectiveness meter is very unreliable about how it spits out or how it displays what mice are showing. It's been a bit of a sore point for us a while, and it's definitely been on the to-do list to overhaul it for quite some time. So I agree that's a little bit of a frustration. Arctic Asiago was a comment from the chat, was a little too difficult to stock up on. Someone said they made 30 million gold during December. That's quite the bounty. A question from the chat was, will we be able to exchange leftover nitro in the next Great Winter Hunt? I can't say with certainty, because if nitro doesn't return, probably not. So I would recommend everybody, when the event ends and you're done with your nitro, exchange it all into throwable snowballs, which you can use on the Snowball Showdown, and convert it all into Super Brie. For every time you clear the board, you're in some Super Brie, and the Super Brie is guaranteed to be useful for many years to come, if not forever. Whereas nitro, it's not really guaranteed to come back. So I would probably, if I were you, I would convert it into Super Brie, but to each their own as well. You can hold on to it as well for nostalgia purposes, or the always infamous just in case. But I would certainly convert it into Super Brie. It was very difficult, was a comment from the chat. And actually, we met a little bit earlier in the week, the whole team, and we did a little bit of a post-mortem. We've been collecting feedback from other places than Feedback Friday, like the forums, fan page, even support tickets. A lot of the time, we get bug reports and stuff like that act as a lot of good feedback. And we kind of agree. It turned out a little bit tougher than we wanted it to, and we play tested it quite a bit in early December. But I think it did turn a little harder than we anticipated to. So we have boosted the toboggan technician as well till the end of the event, and that will certainly help finish off those last few upgrades. But definitely agree with Hunter's sentiment in that it was a little too difficult, and it was maybe harder than we wanted it to be. There's a question, I think, about the vacant lot. It will stay open for 1 week after the event. So when the event comes to a close on Tuesday, you'll be able to exchange all that stuff at the shops at the vacant lot, which will be in the place of the Extreme Toboggan Challenge for 1 week. Which is interesting. Some hunters in the chat enjoyed the difficulty. There were some nice things that were challenging, but I think where maybe we missed the mark was the main event was a little too challenging, whereas we normally strive to have things feel a good amount of challenge to finish the initial event, and then maybe some bonus, more optional feeling objectives that are extra hard. So you can kind of go the extra mile to get even more rewards of the event, but to kind of complete the main storyline, I think that turned out a little harder than we would have liked it to. Arctic Asiago's gift of the day appeared far too late, was a question from the chat there, or a comment. Yeah, that's interesting, actually. We don't really control the gifts of the day usually anyway during an event. They are picked at random, so we'll add 5 or 6 gifts of the day, and every day it picks a random one. But that might be an interesting suggestion to try to perhaps have a more sense of control over that stuff, and maybe have it go in a sequential order, or maybe it goes through all 5 gifts in a random order, and then when it resets, it'll go through all 5 gifts again in another random order. So at least everything will appear once, where it's just a sort of random chance how many times the Arctic Asiago showed up. Somebody asked, can we keep all the stuff Advent chocolates for next year? that's a good question for mouse hunters as well. Do you enjoy the advent calendar? Obviously, it's nothing too intense or critical, but it's it's a nice little fun way to experience the month and kind of count down to December the 24th. We certainly plan on bringing it back. It's easy enough thing to enable. We put a little button somewhere that the devs can hit just to turn it on and off, so it's very straightforward. Taking some more notes here. So I'm taking some notes about the gift of the day there. You can certainly hold on to your Advent chocolates as well. Was comments from the chat for next year. Like I said, that we plan on bringing it back unless for some reason somebody was really the majority of hunters were really opposed to it. So you can save your Advent chocolates for next year. There were a few new skins, so make sure to pick those up if they're a trap skin that interests you, and otherwise you can exchange them for ultimate. Festive Ultimate Luck and Power Charms, which are awesome as well. So if you feel the need to have a couple little win button charms, then you can trade them in for that. Some more feedback here is somebody wanted more tournaments. It's interesting. Special tournaments, maybe more mega tournaments. It's kind of a tough time of year because the office shuts down for a little bit as well, so it can be tough for us to administrate some of the tournaments, but it's certainly something we could set up ahead of time, maybe next year. The free skier mouse, yes, okay. That'll be interesting next year, if it's not a tobogganing course, where that mouse gets put in. We maybe after a whole year, his anger has subsided a little bit and he can be a little easier to catch, but that is certainly a difficult mouse to crown, and anyone who got the Browns King's Crown for that mouse deserves some accolades for sheer patience and determination. Chilly here. I'm in Brian's working remotely right now, so I hijacked his office to have a quiet spot, and it is quite chilly in Brian's office. Sally in the chat, bronze the free skier with only 48 misses, so that's good. That's 10 for 58. All right, so that's quite a few notes, and by all means as well, I'm going to post a in the tavern, and you can let us know what you liked and disliked about the Great Winter Hunt, and we kind of spread that throughout the team. We can kind of hold on to some notes maybe next year. We can kind of review things a little bit, and it influences how we do the winter event in the future as well. So there's one more feedback question about the Great Winter Hunt, and it's something we asked in other Feedback Fridays, but want to kind of check in now that the Great Winter Hunt's winding down. And that is that we've been phasing out event currencies in favor of directly handing out items instead. So, there isn't the moment of, oops, I forgot to spend all my event currency, or I don't know what to buy. And so, this is something we're probably going to continue doing. That said, I don't think we'll have time to overhaul the Cozy Cruise to do away with Cruise Bucks. So I think Cruise Bucks will return in February, and that might add a nice little bit of contrast. You can have one event that didn't have currency and then experience an event with currency. But the question being, is the removal of event currency something you'd like to see continue? It was kind of a mixed bag. A lot of it was, I think, from the birthday event, the cupcake orders. Both. Okay, that's confusing, but interesting, all right? Yeah, the interesting thing we see with event currencies is it's a bit of kind of watching what hunters say and also what hunters do, is that a lot of hunters don't spend the event currency when they get it. And I don't know if it's from forgetting that it's there or feeling like, you know what, I don't see anything that I really want, so I'm just not going to spend anything at all. And so in the long term, kind of found it more fun to get the items themselves, because it sort of takes that choice or that anxiety choice out of the scenario. It's like, well, cool, I got this stuff, I'm going to go use it now. Or, you know, it becomes strategic. It's like, well, what did you get? Well, I got this. Oh, cool, I'm going to go do that then. You know, I got a couple pieces of gemstone cheese. I'm going to head to the fungal cavern, and it kind of makes it exciting. Adds a little bit of variety too, where you don't know where you're going to go, or you don't kind of throw some more on the stack to stash forever. You actually get out and get to use that stuff and hunt with it. Yeah, an interesting comment from the chat. It's a behavior we see quite a bit where, again, hunters like, well, what if next year there's something I really want? I'm not going to spend anything this year. And so it's kind of a weird little chicken and egg, horse and cart problem going on, where they're exciting to get them, but you don't want to spend them just in case. And it creates sort of a situation of anxiety. We've thought about event currency that is just generic and that all events give you the event currency, but it was a little too hard to sort of balance out on a per event basis, but it is an interesting idea. You know, some interesting feedback from the chat, people saying both. I mean, in essence, that's what King's credits are. So maybe that's a nice approach where you can earn King's credits during events as well. So there'll be a few more ways of getting King's credits during an event, and that sort of acts as a currency. And we'll keep stocking the shops with new things. But there's also just rewards that you can pick by going down a certain ski hill or doing a certain cupcake order as well. Yeah, we have been updating the King's Arms as we go a little bit. We tend to wait until an area is a little bit older, not as new, before it stocks items in the King's Arms. There are oxygen canisters. However, the Sunken City has been updated, so you can buy oxygen canisters with King's credits. It's just a little anticlimactic if an area comes out, and then if you have 5,000 King's credits on the second day of the area, you now have everything you need to then go and smash that area. It's a little anticlimactic. It doesn't have the same. It takes away from the fun of it a little bit. So it's something we avoid just because it creates a very weird emotional scenario, to be honest. It's a little bit of nebulous game design territory, but it's kind of weird to take the challenge out of something immediately right off the bat. And whew, 45 minutes. All right, I better speed things up here a little bit. Maybe I scheduled too much in the Feedback Friday today. Although it brings up the one more thing is the trivia question. I have to wrap things up here to go and continue some work here today. And the trivia question has to do with the Festive Aura, which is also an opportunity to get the information out there in case you don't know, as the Festive Aura will continue to be active after the Great Winter Hunt comes to an end. It'll last until January 31st, probably a little bit longer than that, depending on your time zone. And I think on February 1st, yes, that's a Monday, will come into the office on February 1st. There will be a task to then disable the aura. So until we hit the button, it will be active, and we plan to turn it off at the beginning of February. So the festive aura, what items can be found as bonus loot when the festive aura is active? There's a lot of guesses of 34. And actually a lot of people were guessing January 31st if I was going to ask the question of when it is active to. All is incorrect in the chat was a guess here. So maybe a nice little list, comma delimited, a list with commas separating each item you can get. We got snowball charms, 2 types of ultimate charms, gift boxes, Super Brie. Yes, Ryan, you are correct. I think you were the first person to get all 5 types of items, and the answer being Winter Hunt gift boxes, which there's a variety of colors you can get, snowball charms, festive ultimate luck charms, festive ultimate power charms, and finally the always useful and super tasty Super Brie Plus. So while your festive aura is active, those are 5 types of items that any mouse in the entire kingdom can drop. You do not need to be at the event. You can go to the labyrinth, you can go to the laboratory, you can be anywhere, and the mice will just drop those items as an effect of your festive aura. So Larry has rewards. If I make sure this link works first. The reward link is in the chat, and if you're watching this recorded in the chat, that's a lengthy stream. Yes, I cut out there for a second. See if I come back just to say goodbye. Let me know in the chat when you can see me. A joke in the chat was, Larry gave me 25 predatory processors, thanks. I don't think it was for 25 predatory processors. If so, there's been a horrible mistake, but not so horrible if you click the link. But no, it was 10 toboggan planks. Yep, I'm back. Thank you, Ryan. So 10 toboggan planks was Larry's reward. If you're finished the event, you can exchange those for nitro and exchange the nitro for throwable snowballs and finally play the snowball showdown to earn some Super Brie. And there's a lot of jokes in the chat. I hope they're jokes about getting sandblasted metal predatory processors and 25 sandstorm monster bots. So not even the sandstorm, not even the sandblasted metal, just straight up 25 sandstorm monster bots. I certainly hope that's not what you got from the link, although that would be kind of sweet. I hope that's not what I just gave away. It was supposed to be 10 toboggan planks. Thank you, Sally assured me she's joking. I was confident, but... All right, well, thanks for joining me, Mouse Hunters. As I said, this will be the last Feedback Friday normal edition. The next 2 will be art ones. Jacob will be joining you, and he'll be drawing something which I'm sure will look incredibly cool, as I will be traveling to Singapore to meet some Mouse Hunters next Saturday, so I will be away for a couple weeks. Hope everyone's having a fun, safe, and healthy 2016 so far. Everyone's enjoying the last leg of the Great Winter Hunt. As I said, the toboggan technician is out in full force and dropping lots of toboggan parts. So if you need 1 or 2 more upgrades to finish the event, now's the time to arm that Arctic Asiago and get those bonus loot drops. Thanks for joining me. Happy hunting, everybody.
Waiting for